Okay, hi there students. This is another CPE writing. So here's the question. You're a member of an online film club. As a club member, you're required to recommend one film to become part of the yearly film list. The chosen film should demonstrate strong artistic merit, be informative either from a cultural or historical point of view, and involve carefully developed characters and plot. Write your film review. This film review was written by Roland Simon. If I had to choose one movie for the yearly film list, I would recommend a classic suspenseful movie, The Duel. So I'm looking at this word suspenseful. Yes, it does exist. I think it's probably acceptable. It's an unusual choice of words. So, okay. The whole world was taken aback in 1971 by a director, exciting and imaginative debut creation by a director's exciting and imaginative debut creation, which some critics consider it. So, which the it is not necessarily because of the which some critics consider as Steven Spielberg's, not one of, magnum opus, the great work, one of his magnus opuses. No. Okay, so the whole world was taken aback in 1971 by a director's exciting and imaginative debut, which some critics consider as Steven Spielberg's magnum opus. Okay, it works. The link between these two is a bit tenuous between the first part and the second part by a director's exciting and imaginative debut creation, which some consider still okay. I guess it works. I think I'd like Steven Spielberg's in the first part and then maybe his or something in the second, but it's okay. The main character is a Californian salesman traveller. So, travelling salesman. The middle-aged Dennis Weaver. The main character is a Californian travelling salesman, the middle-aged Dennis Weaver. So, which the movie begins. So, who begins the movie with his commute, I would probably add, to work. When he overtakes a gargantuan truck many times on a whim on the highway, he makes the driver livid. So let's see. On a whim many times. When, on a whim, he overtakes a gargantuan truck on the highway. On the highway. And repeats this many times, he makes the driver livid. Dennis stops at a gas station in order to fuel up and phone his wife. He appears to be a henpecked husband during the short conversation, and we can infer that he is trying to reassert his primordial masculinity merely on the road. His enemy makes up his mind to take a woeful revenge on him. He follows his car everywhere, and he does not want to give up his mind games whatsoever. Okay, his enemy makes up his mind to take a woeful revenge on Dennis. He follows Dennis's car everywhere, and he does not want to give up his mind games whatsoever. He does not want to give up his mind games in any way whatsoever. When Dennis stops at a cafe, the sight of the menacing truck on the park, I think in the car park, suggests that his enemy is inside the building. While he's drinking and eating, he's desperately trying to figure out he could be his nemesis among the men, trying to figure out who could be his nemesis among the men, among the truckers. Just sounds better. He even gets involved in a fight with someone. The truck driver was at his monster during the entire incident, was so in his monster. So join these two sentences together. A fight with someone. However, the truck driver was in his monster during the entire incident for someone, comma. Despite the minimalist characters and the environment, the director is able to manipulate the viewers with the power of visual tale, or with the power of a visual tale throughout the movie. The director acknowledges the fact that fear of the unknown is the most atavistic, good and dreadful of all fears. Apart from his boots and arms, we never see the foe's face. He remains unrevealed. It is actually the cinematic adaptation of the struggle of David and Goliath. While the diabolical driver is playing cat and mouse, I like this phrase, with the protagonist, an average viewer can easily feel as if he were in the central character's shoes. Dennis belongs to the cohort of ordinary people who just want to be cocooned in his tiny closed world, in the belief that little people do not have a voice in anything. Good paragraph. In conclusion, Duel is a great movie in which an ordinary person becomes a hero under extraordinary circumstances, and the unseen enemy is more threatening than a visible one. Suffice it to say that every cinema fan should watch this film. Okay, so that's another good paragraph with no corrections at all. So how well have you answered the question? From a cultural point of view, involve carefully developed characters. Here you actually do say that the characters are rather outlined, but so how well have you answered the question? I think 4.25 out of 10. How well does it read? It's rather bitty towards at the beginning, but then it suddenly gets a lot better, yeah, and by the end here, this last bit is very good. I think 4 out of 10. Sorry, 4 out of 5, not 4 out of 10. The grammar structures used. Okay, the grammar itself is probably fairly simple. You're doing better at joining sentences together, although you're trying to use relative clauses, which is good, although you haven't totally got them when you're adding extra subjects or objects to them. That word it. I think probably 3.75. The range of vocabulary, I think, as always, is very good. I think certainly 4.5. And then little mistakes, the little mistakes are much better in this one. I think I would probably give it 3.75 out of 5. So I think overall it's pretty good. I think I'm going to give it overall a 7.75, which is probably, yeah, that's probably an A at CPE, maybe an A minus, something like that. Okay, so good work and well done. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, watch more of Roland's writings, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.